Hello and welcome to Kedrick Farms. We're back with an episode of Westby Wisconsin Revised. And we're in the middle of corn harvest right now. And so we left off last time over on the end of the field. I think we just opened things up. And then if I run all the way down here, we have taken a couple of passes off here as we were wrapping up there. But we've got most of this field here left to go. And so I think what we're going to do is go ahead and fire this combine up and see if we can get a worker to start off on this. I'm a little bit worried it's not going to be able to do that with this header. But my thought is if I can get a worker started here and just let him go while we go and get everything emptied out because we've got a full grain cart here. And so we're going to try and save ourselves a little bit of time at the cost of a few dollars to kind of get a few things going here. So we're going to jump in this grain cart and take this down to get unloaded. And I think while we're at it, it would be a good time to switch out the tractors. I know a number of people commented on wanting to see the 4440 here on the auger, and using the larger tractor on the grain cart makes a little bit more sense, which I agree. And so what we'll do is we'll get this cart emptied off so that we're able to disconnect this trailer and switch things out. Definitely don't want to be disconnecting this thing while it's full of corn. So while that empties into the truck, we'll jump into the 4950 here. And since it's already hooked up, we'll just go ahead and get it going on the auger here. And then we should be able to start dumping here in a moment. Let me think. I gotta wait until this empties out. Well, I guess I could just back it up here a little bit so that when we start lifting the bed here, it doesn't crash into our auger. We're a big fan of the multitasking. Emptying into this auger pretty quick. So this has been working out really well for us, and we're getting a fair amount of corn in this bin already. If we check our PDA, we are at 824 bushels of corn already, and we've just barely opened things up. So with that, I think we're going to hop out of here. Here we're going to be able to disconnect this now. That seems like a horrible idea, the way that just fell through the ground like that, but we're going to switch this around and see how it works. The grain cart should be fine here. It's not too much of a hill, right? What I'm hoping is that I can get this auger back up here without it causing lots of problems. I wasn't really expecting it to glitch through the ground like that. That all hooked back up, and then if I look at this, it all looks good. I think we just shifted a little bit, so I'll move the truck. If I look at this auger, we probably need to reposition ourselves a little bit, actually. So let me get this grain truck out of the way. Everything falling apart here suddenly. I don't know why everything shifted so much, but it happens sometimes. So if I pick this auger up, and I'm just going to pull forward a bit and then try to back it up at a little bit of an angle there. Put this right over the spout there. There we go. And then if we just put this right back out, I can back my grain truck up to this and we should be good to go. that actually looks like everything's in a really good spot. So I am happy with that. And we're just gonna straighten this grain truck out here. Put it right there. We should be good to go. And I just saw the message that our combine is nearly full. And so we've got to hurry up and go here. See if I can get over this tire to hook this thing back up. There we go. All right, let's get on out to the field and see where things are at. We better put this auger in before we smack into a tree. And helper C has a full grain cart. Oh, we didn't quite make it to the end. That's unfortunate. I was really hoping that we were going to be able to unload on the go here. But we're going to just park this guy here and hop on out here and take care of this. So it looks like we don't quite get a full round with this combine, which isn't necessarily a problem. But I think we are going to... Whoa, brakes. I think we are going to try and have a worker help us out a little bit. I think I might be breaking one of the rules of the series, but this is going to take a lot of effort, and with the hard economic difficulty, actually, it looks like that worker is costing us a small fortune. And given that the crop prices ended up working out a lot better than we thought they were, using a worker is actually going to penalize us a little bit more from an economic standpoint. So we'll take that. Well, we'll take that and call it a little bit of a handicap while speeding things up a little bit for us. Otherwise, it's going to take quite a while to finish off this field if we have to keep manually dumping everything on the ends of each row. And so I'm okay with that trade-off, I think. Let me just get the combine here. We're going to finish out to the end of the row here, and then I think we'll flip it around and get a worker going, and then we'll empty it out on the way down so that it can make the full pass back up here and turn around. We'll be in a pretty good spot there because essentially the grain cart holds about 2 combines full, and so that'll be a good cadence for us to empty out the grain cart if we can follow this down to towards the end of the field here and empty him out enough so that he can get all the way back and turn around, and we can hopefully keep up with him, catch up with him again when he's heading back down next time. And that'll actually be perfect timing to hopefully go dump this cart. So a full load, it was just shy of 300 bushels here that he dumped into us already. I think we're going about 6 miles an hour. A little bit slower. Low 6. And so it looks like we've got him emptied here. So I'm trying to decide if I want to run back and dump this into the truck just to see what my timing's going to be. Or should I follow him down all the way to the end and then come back? I think this is probably good. We got 75%. We're going to let him go. He should make it all the way back down here to our end and be able to turn around. So we're going to just take this all the way back up to the yard and get a sense of how long that's going to take us here. So we are chewing through the money pretty quickly there. We're at negative $625 already. I don't remember what we started the episode with, but I'm watching that money tick by pretty quickly. Let me just double check We're not buying fuel or anything. So that is literally just the cost of a hired worker on hard economic difficulty. $1 a second. If I made $1 a second, I would be a happy camper. All right. Let's get this auger out here and get dumping into this truck. I don't know if I'm going to wait to put it into the bin just now. Why are we not dumping into the truck? There we go. I'll probably wait and, well, we're here. We don't have anything better to do than watch it unload, so we'll get this tractor fired up. We'll get that to start up the auger. We'll just start dumping corn right into the bin here. Takes a while for this auger wagon to unload. I think it's probably a realistic speed. It's just I'm always impatient. Don't want to wait. Alright, we've got all of that corn out of the truck. We're going to go ahead and jump in here and turn that tractor back off. And then we're going to zoom back over to the field here and see where we're at. I'm really curious to see how fast this is going to go. Looks like he's on his way back up now, so we've definitely got enough time to handle doing this, so that's going to work out pretty well. Let's go ahead and jump on into the combine for a bit then. And so this has been a fun series. I've really enjoyed the farm setup here, the fields, the hills. Definitely really interesting. Kind of curious to see how much money we made, even though we didn't have the most optimal field setup. So definitely going to be looking forward to getting our corn sold here in the winter months. There's a lot of opportunity for high prices there for at least 1 or 2 days in seasons here. So we'll get probably all of our corn sold to help us fund next season's costs. And fall tillage and that stuff is going to have to start here pretty soon. We're going to be getting the lime spreader out and putting some lime down on a few of our fields here, which will be fun. Wow, this combine is driving all over our corn. This is what happens when you try to use a hired worker. And so yeah, that'll be fun. We got to get the lime spread and kind of worked into our field. So that is probably our next job after we get done with harvest. We could be doing that concurrently right now, but these fields are just not well designed for hired workers. The fact that we're getting away with a hired worker here on harvest is, really more than I probably could have expected. So I don't think I trust a hired worker to try and spread lime on one of these curvy fields down here. Just not going to cut it. And so this goes pretty quick. The combine's going to be empty here momentarily. And then I don't think we really need to follow him all the way back down to the end of the field here. So once we get to the skinny rows here, I'm probably going to whip around and park this back up on the end row here, and then we'll jump over and take over the combining again, I think. Is probably the best plan here. We've got 42% of this cart, so we'll definitely have room for the next load here. So this is going to work out pretty well for us. So I'm just going to shut him off right here and jump over here and take over the combining. I did set up a GPS track for this guy, so I'm gonna turn the worker off and take over. Make our lives a little bit easier. GPS always makes it easier to go straight. Save us a few dollars on that worker since we're already at negative 775. It just goes down so quickly. We've got a few withered sections of corn here. I'm not quite sure what causes that still. I mean, I know it's seasons, but I really wish I understood the game mechanic, because we've got quite a few little spots here throughout the field that are like that, so it'd be interesting to understand that a little bit better. And yeah, here we go. So with that, I think we'll cut into a little bit of a time lapse and knock out a good chunk of this field, see if I can get the grain cart and the combine filled up here, and check back in a few minutes. Just about finished with these long rows. We've got one more pass here, it looks like, up towards the shed. So we're gonna go ahead and jump over here to the 4950, unload one more time, And then we'll take a look at the map here while we're unloading. Looks like we missed just a few rows right there, which is, well, not missed, but didn't quite get all those rows. We'll be done with these medium rows in like 2 passes, it looks like. So we're just about done with this field. Probably another 15-20 minutes of work to go here. We're pulling in a pretty good yield, so let's get pulled up just a smidge here. If we look at the map, we've got just a little spot here and a little spot up here to harvest, and then we've already got 1,700 bushels of corn in the bins. By the time we put this in there and wrap up this field, we'll probably get to about 25, maybe a little bit more. Be nice to get to 3,000 bushels. I don't think we've got quite that much corn left. We're missing a couple of stalks here and there. Apparently did not get the helper on the right set of rows. So we're going to go ahead and run this back up to the yard here real quick. And we should be just about done with these long rows after we get this load dumped off here. And then I've been thinking a little bit about how we're going to tackle our next jobs. I think we're going to start with the lime, and we're going to start on the backside of that hill there. But it's starting to be towards the end of the day today, so we'll probably try to wrap up the harvest here before it gets dark and jump over to some of the tillage work tomorrow, quote unquote, which on 6-day seasons, that's a couple of weeks from now in the way the clock actually ends up working, but you can't do it all on one day. So we got that guy unloading. We're gonna hop up in here and get this all fired up. And start dumping into the auger here. You can actually see it going in up there. We're not quite lined up perfectly, but close enough. I really like this grain truck. This is a cool mod. I can't recall how many bushels it holds though. Guess I could fill it up, but 25% is about 180. So 800, so like 700, 750 maybe. I don't know. Doing napkin math here. And we're really racking up the bills with this hired worker though. We're already 1,130 in the hole. It is not a good situation. We have got to get done with this harvest and make some money with selling our corn this winter. Have enough money to hopefully fund our lime here. I guess I didn't think about that. We're gonna have to sell at least one load before winter if we're gonna be able to get the lime and do that work before the snow comes. So we're gonna take a little bit of a hit this year and not be able to maximize our profits on what we're selling as well. But that's okay. In fact, we'll probably just fill up one grain truck here rather than dump the next truck into the bin. We'll see how much that truck holds by just filling it up here. And we're almost out of fuel in the 9500 here. I was not paying attention to that. I think I might have turned on the increased fuel usage mod, because I was noticing that none of the tractors and combines and stuff were using nearly the fuel that I expected for a full day's work. I know we were fueling up our equipment every day when we were using it, so I think this is going to represent reality maybe just a little bit better, needing to actually fuel things up. So maybe we'll have to run this up to the fuel barrel here when we get back to the other end of the field, because that is dangerously low. We're almost there. We've got this little invisible row. We're gonna see if I can whip around here and pick up this straggling row over here, though. It's really bothering me that we missed a row. We'll pick this up and then jump back over to the other rows there, and we should have enough fuel to get back up to the yard. It's not quite that low, but it looks pretty low. I've never run out of fuel with a vehicle, I don't think. I'm guessing that they just kind of stop where they're at. I guess I would have to lease a fuel trailer or something to come out and put some fuel in it in the field. If that happened, that would definitely eat into our profits, though, so we would like to avoid that for sure. I'm trying to think about the best way to do this. I would like to unload the combine, but I think I'll just drive it up there and get the fuel going, and then we'll think about if I can just unload this directly into the grain truck since I'll be up there, or do I need to... Is there enough room for me to get the combine around? We're not sure. But I do know we need fuel. That is quite the bumpy road. Alright. I thought fuel was one of those things you could do even when you were broke. But I guess not. Alright. Well, I guess what we're going to do then is go ahead and dump this corn into the truck and take it up to the elevator so that we've got enough money to buy fuel to finish harvest. While that's going, let's just double check the lowest corn prices I've seen in Farm Sim. Still way better than real life. And this tractor has nothing in it, so there's no salvation there. So what I'll do is run, this is what? This isn't even gonna cover, it'll cover our debt. Let's do it. Did I turn this combine off? We can't be running out of fuel. I did not. Alright. Too many things to keep track of. So this will be the first time I'm going to an elevator. Which one has the better price? Hilltop Grains is currently the better price for corn. If I just double check our thing, we are literally selling corn at the lowest possible price. That's pretty epic. That's about how we roll here. So let's run it up there and accept our losses. It's always something here on Kettering Farms. Oh my goodness. Oh, the mailboxes. The mailboxes. Oh man. Okay, well, we're gonna have to deal with that later. I can't believe we took out the mailboxes. Worst driver in Farm Sim. So I don't know that I've ever sold grain at this other elevator. I've gone to the one up by the shop before. Wow, what are we doing? We're way in the ditch. Stay on the road. See, I'm not sure. I don't think I've sold grain at this hilltop sell point before. If I recall, when I played this before, the only place I ever took grain was the elevator up by the store. In fact, I'm not even sure this was a sell point when I played before. I can't remember. There's no memory of this particular sell point. Wow, this is quite the hill. It would be a killer driveway to try and get up the hill and into with their oncoming traffic. Definitely would not want to be trying to stop and wait for a turn on a hill like that, especially with a full load. I know our grain truck did not have the brakes for that. That looked like a sell point, but I think it's actually over here. There we go. Trying to figure out where to go. Let me just pull up here and sell this off. We should have just a little bit more than what we got. So we got $500 to use for gas. We need to get our fuel for the combine. After that, we can afford to go negative again until we sell the rest of our grain. But if the combine can't run, we can't finish harvest. So we are back up at the farm here. We're going to get the grain truck backed in here. Hopefully without crashing into anything. And then we're going to try and fuel up this combine one more time. I think we'll stop it here at about half. I don't think we need to fully fuel it up right now. Save those dollars for other expenditures, and we'll worry about capping this off next fall when we're ready to start harvest again. We should have a lot more money available to us by then. So right now we're mostly just concerned with getting through the remainder of harvest here. We're going to turn around and just finish up this corner, I think. And then we'll go down to the other end and grab what's left down there. Helps if we lift the snouts when we're turning around. This hill is something else. This combine is just like barely able to drive itself up a hill when the headers turn down. It's quite the struggle. There we go. Got what? One more pass here, a little bit more. Just take this part at an angle, pick up these stragglers. And last pass in this corner. Still not a huge fan of how much light bloom and haze there is in Farm Sim. I don't know if different shaders would help me remove some of that or not. Definitely on my short list of things to look into more to figure out if there's a way to change some of those, because I haven't found any settings that really affect the hazy factor in the game outside of maybe there's something I could do at a mod level to reduce that, because it seems to be, because it's quote-unquote cloudy, that their version of cloudy is more of a haze or a fog, because there's not actually that many clouds. But we've got just this little corner here and we'll be good to go. And we'll finish this off, and then we'll jump back up to the silos here and we'll take a look at how much corn we ended up with. I'm really curious, and now I don't recall how much corn did we just sell. It was, what, 180 bushels maybe that we sold? I want to say it was like 178 or something like that. I'll have to check during editing and see if I can figure out the exact number, but I'm thinking it was about 180 in my head right now. So that's what I'm going to use when we take a look at the bins and calculate what we've harvested so far. We're so close to the end. It feels good to finish a harvest. We ran into a few issues during this season, but generally things worked out pretty well. A little bit disappointed with some of the issues we've had with this combine and its lack of power. We'll definitely have to be thinking this through in the future. And I'm also not sure what the deal is with the strobing, flashing lights all of the time. I don't know if that's an issue with this combine or the map. I don't recall having these flashes of light every once in a while on other maps, but I also can't say that I've A, paid that much attention, and B, used this combine that much, so I wouldn't know if it was the map or the mod. I'm trying to remember if this was something that we experienced on other equipment. I think it was. I think I saw it when we were in the grain cart. So, I don't know. We just get these random strobes of light from time to time, and it's mildly concerning. So that is the last of our corn. So we're going to just drive this on up, and since we don't have anything in the grain cart right now, I'm probably just going to put this right back into that truck and load this into the bins and see where we landed. Given that we sold off a partial truckload, I don't think we're going to be hitting our full 2,000 bushels, I think is what I was estimating at one point, into the bins. I can't recall. We'll look in a second here. Definitely not hitting 2,500. I don't know that that would have been possible now that I'm looking back on it all anyway. I'm going to get as close to this garage as I can while feeling comfortable. We're going to shut this off. We're going to fire this up. And we're going to dump this out. There we go. Everything has been moved into the bins, and yeah, we got to just shy of 2,300, so did better than I thought we were going to do. And if I'd had that extra 180, 200, we would have come in just shy of 2,500. So that's a pretty good yield for the fact that our fields were not fully fertilized and all of that good stuff. So I think with that, we're going to call it an episode here. We'll clean up some of this stuff next time and get started on our fall tillage. That's all for today. Kedrick, out.